What's up gamers, Dreamcast Guy here, and today I want to do something a little different. I'm going to do an off-the-cuff rant about what I think about the recently announced PlayStation 4 Neo and Xbox Scorpio. These are brand new consoles being made by Sony and Microsoft for launch in 2017. This hardware isn't quite the start of a next console cycle, but instead a halfway point, a way for them to boost the current generation. The idea behind this is a good one, but I think that it could have some dire consequences, possibly even leading to another gaming crash. Let's start this off by doing a small history lesson. In 1983, we nearly had the death of all video games as we know it. Atari basically owned the entire market at this time, and if you wanted to put out a game, you had to do it on their system. Just one small issue. Anyone, and I mean anyone, was allowed to make games for the Atari. Because of this, store shelves were utterly flooded with garbage. We saw bad ports of arcade games like Pac-Man, sloppy movie tie-ins like E.T., or straight-up porn games like Custer's Revenge. People started to think that video games were just a lame hobby, and sales of all gaming products crashed. Thankfully, this is when the Nintendo came in and introduced some very strict quality control. You weren't allowed to release anything for the NES without first proving to Nintendo that your project actually played well. Over the years, gaming grew from a small, niche audience to being one of the most popular forms of entertainment in the world. This is, in large part, due to one simple rule. Make your console easy to develop games for, and make sure every game offers something that consumers are gonna wanna try. In the modern age, Sony and Microsoft have pretty much mastered this. While the PlayStation 4 is opening itself up to indie devs and big projects alike, the Xbox One is focusing itself more on competitive gaming and hardcore shooters like Halo 5. These companies are both enjoying great success because of how simple gaming on these consoles is. You just buy the system of your choice, grab some games that seem fun, and jump online with friends. Here is where we run into a major problem. With the Scorpio and Neo being put out at the same time as current consoles, this could lead to some major confusion. Right now, Sony and Microsoft are promising that this fresh hardware is being made so that already good-looking titles will just look slightly better. A few extra particle effects, a sunset looking shinier, and automatic upscaling to 4K resolution for those interested. It seems like most of the fans who have already purchased an 8th generation system aren't exactly happy about this idea. One analogy I keep hearing is this: if people are happy buying a new cell phone every 3 years, why won't they be pleased with a console? Personally, I don't like the comparison of mobile devices to game consoles, but just for fun, let's take this analogy one step further. This is the original iPhone. It doesn't look like much now, but in 2007, this thing was an insane piece of tech. Thousands of apps were specifically made to this device's specifications. However, when the iPhone 2 comes out, app makers suddenly had to rewrite their entire program to work with this new device or risk losing sales. At that point, they have to make a hard decision: keep putting out updates for the iPhone 1 version, or completely focus on the iPhone 2 and be ready for the iPhone 3. This is really, at my core, what I fear happening with the PlayStation 4 Neo and the Xbox Scorpio. At the start, developers are going to be essentially creating double the games. An upgraded style version for the new consoles and a standard version for the old console. This means that everything will cost a lot more to create, which realistically means smaller games overall. Even worse, some super tiny indie projects might not be able to afford these higher coding costs at all. Imagine something like Rocket League. This was a game that flourished because it celebrated pure fun above all else. It was made by a few friends who wanted to come together and make a standout experience for everyone to enjoy. In a world with double the consoles, they might not have been able to afford to put it out on all 4 modern systems, or if they had, they probably would have had to cut content. The thought of tiny developers being pushed out of the marketplace because of these higher costs is downright shameful. The last thing I want to touch on is branding. If you're selling any product, you want to be very straightforward. For example, this is my game console, these are my controllers, and this is what games look like. The problem with having 2 sets of simultaneous systems on store shelves is that general buyers are going to see some of them as new and some of the technology as old. I've already seen people on Twitter referring to the Xbox One as the old box one. This is not a label you want attached to you. Let's face it, stupid catchphrases like this have a bad habit of sticking. Remember when everyone said, "Don't buy the PSP, it's got no games," even though it had hundreds of stellar titles? Unfortunately, that phrase stuck, and the PlayStation Portable sunk like a rock. Sony, Microsoft, please handle this situation carefully. I know a few employees from those companies watch my show, so let me just offer you a small free piece of advice. Be genuine and clear with gamers going forward. Tell them honestly if this is how things are going to be working from now on. This year, the president of PlayStation, Shuei Yoshida, went on record saying that he wasn't sure if there'd ever be a PS5, and I think this is why. Welcome to the future, folks. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of these half consoles coming soon. Thanks so much for watching, gamers. This video was a little bit out of my normal cycle, something I wouldn't normally do. If you like it, please let me know in the comments down below, along with telling me your thoughts on the PlayStation 4 Neo and the Xbox Scorpio. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. And go follow me on Twitter. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video, maybe check out my last video. Please subscribe, and if you want, share this somewhere with your friends.